Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about some very hard pills to swallow. My name is Chloe Body and I have a guest host with me whose name is
Christian Scott.
And we know each other from high school. No, that's right. We had a class together. Shout out Mr. Ingram if he's still out there. For this video, same old bit as usual, kind of going in this raw. It's gonna be just honest opinions and mostly based off of our own experiences. I mean, isn't every opinion? Yeah, all right, let's get into it. First topic is happiness comes from within. As long as you spend your time seeking it in the world, seeking it in anything materialistic, anything conceptual, anything imaginary, it's never going to be found because you simply have to create it to an extent that attracts more from external sources, and then you can thrive in as much happiness as you want. When I was a child, I grew up, and you might know if you've watched my other videos, I grew up in a pretty unfortunate situation, but not the worst in the world, and I have nothing to complain about because it led to where I am now, so God bless. But yeah, I was emotionally, physically, verbally abused. We were poor. We had no education about health or, I don't know, anything. Religion. The most basic things, honestly, I had no idea about. I noticed a large difference between me and the other kids in my school, not only because they would point it out, but I just would see the way that their families interacted with them and the way that their parents talked to them and the way that they got along with other kids. And I'd just be like, why doesn't my mom say that? Why doesn't my dad say that? Why don't people think that way about me? And I would just be like, do my parents not love me as much as other parents love their kids? And da-da-da-da-da. I basically went from that train of thought to talking to my parents about it and being like, hey, why do other parents tell their kids I love you? Like, that's kind of sad, but just genuinely. And they'd be like, oh, well, we just don't do that. We don't have to. You know that we love you because we feed you or something like that. And they'd also make the excuse of, we're poor. We don't buy you all that other stuff because we don't have any money. But not necessarily that I was asking for materialistic things. I mean, I'm sure I was if I was a child, but I don't think my intention was to. It was just genuine concern. And on an important note, my parents are not emotionally available for themselves or for other people, which goes into the original thing, which is fill your cup first before you try to pour into others, create your own happiness and attract it. So going to them about this type of stuff didn't really help. So most of my thoughts about other people, my family, I kind of would just 100% internalize. And this went on into me pursuing perfectionism. Like, I became very OCD, and I got that from my father because he's literally OCD, for being perfectionism in everything that I did because everything was so scarce to me, for one. And also it was like the only thing that I could attach to was the things that I owned because nothing else was in my control. I don't really know how to explain that, but blah, 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 blah. Kind of rambling. I basically associated the lack of happiness with poverty and with a lack of privilege, I guess. I mean, I didn't know how to word that as a kid, but I basically just thought, okay, well, my parents would treat me like that, but they just can't, rather than my parents just don't because they're just not those types of people. And I went into pursuing psychiatry. I started university when I was 17 and I graduated when I was 20, and I was gonna go to medical school and do residency and all that stuff because I was like, my goal in life is just to make a lot of money. And that was literally what my drive was. And having not been raised with any religion or any eternal motivation, I just was like, yeah, happiness equals being rich. And then it drove me into depression, and it drove me into feeling worthless without it. And it drove me into every little bleeding negative alternative you could possibly think of. Basically, I spent almost my whole life chasing what I thought was happiness and what I was ill-informed of, and it led me to almost my death, which was a near-death experience in a car accident. I realized I didn't actually explain the story ever, but that's for another time. Yeah, so that's my train of that, or that there. That's
That's my thought on the matter. That's my...
I don't know. That's my example. Go ahead, Christian.
All right, so I definitely would say the idea of happiness coming from within is something that not a lot of people get. There's not a lot of people are really willing to face that because different people's lives have different events. Everybody has different things that affect them in different types of ways, and that's what makes us who we are, essentially. I definitely say that growing up, I put a lot of emphasis on how I was perceived. Like, perception was kind of one of those things that I held dear because it was kind of instilled in me by my parents. Like, we have to do this to look a certain type of way, or if you do this, case, I was just used to being rewarded for good behavior, if that makes sense. It was like, you go to your parents for everything at a young age, and happiness is one of them. So you want to please your parents, of course. So I always wanted to be that go-getter kid, play a bunch of sports, get as many good grades as I can, do good in school, because that was really coming from a large family with a lot of siblings. I feel like sometimes there's a competition or there's not enough attention to go around.
Yeah.
And so once I realized that happiness comes from within, and I realized, okay, I can separate how I feel from what's being given to me, I say that really helped me in my journey of growth.
Amen. God bless. Yeah, that really just goes into the entire idea of a detachment and completely mastering self-actualization. What you need to hear is, if you are seeking something, whether you think you have to have a partner that, oh, but they're my other half, oh, but they complete me. Okay, in like a romantic sense, but you have to admit that the romantic essence is optional. So yes, you need a partner to complete you romantically, but you don't need romance. It's something that you can want and something that you can desire, but if it's not meant for you, or if it's not your time, or if it's not that person's time, you just have to accept that.
Yeah, I feel like instead of relying on somebody else for your happiness, if you're the type of person to take your own happiness into your own hands, and you realize, okay, this is the type of person I am, I function like this, there's just certain things I have to do in order to appease my mental state, if you will, it really becomes easier to find the one. I don't really subscribe to the belief of the one. I think you make your dream partner, kind of. You guys are going to grow with each other. I think the person you fall in love with initially isn't the person, whenever the relationship ends, that you thought you knew. Because people grow and people change over time.
Yeah. So basically you're saying you don't think that there's a soulmate out there. You think that anyone has the chance to be the one. It's just a matter of how you guys each...
In a sense, yeah. But I feel like obviously there's people who
have levels of compatibility.
Yeah, levels of compatibility as well. Take that with a grain of salt. But
yeah. Technically anything's possible. Helen Keller had a husband, so...
If you believe in Helen Keller.
Back to what I was saying though, if you can understand that yes, you obviously need a partner to make one whole relationship, just understanding a relationship is extra. A relationship is luxury, you know? You need money to go on a trip. If you don't have the money for the trip, don't stress, because you don't need the trip. That's a luxury. It's a blessing. Yeah, once you just also become more grateful for the way that you could exist if God just took, or if something just took everything away from you, whether they shaved your head, they took all your clothes, took your house, took your car, took your family, took your animals, took your food, and you could be dead. I mean, some of you probably might just want to be dead at that point, but if you appreciated life enough, you'd be like, I'm still happy to be alive because that means I still get another chance to improve my life. Yeah, nothing phases you. Yeah. You're just happy at all times because you're alive. To be conscious is to be able to be happy, and to be happy is a choice. So when you're conscious, just choose to be happy and you'll be happy.
Facts. I feel like it's easier to find happiness from within if, like Chloe was saying earlier, once you start peeling away those layers of your so-called identity, like the type of things you take interest in, your hobbies, maybe the type of clothes you wear, the type of foods you eat, the type of people you hang around. Once you become more genuine and intentional in what it is and your security, and I guess in your perception of self, it becomes easier to find that happiness. Because I used to have longer hair when I was younger, and I guess as I got older with school and everything, there was a time in my life where I just had to shave my head.
Same. I had lice. And everyone called me a boy.
I had dreads, and
yeah, that's tough, dude. That takes a long time.
It took a long time.
How long were they?
They were probably, no, they were down here.
Wow, like your whole life?
No, I wasn't growing my hair my whole life. I grew my hair out since 5th grade and then cut it after my senior year. So I have gone through like a bunch of different hairstyles and haircuts.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, one day I just had to buzz it all off. And once I was peeled away from that, the identity of having long hair, I was able to, I guess, find more confidence in showing my face. It felt like I put myself out there more. I think that's something that a lot of people need to get used to doing, putting themselves out there.
Exposure therapy. Yeah. Seriously. When you don't have a choice, you just stop complaining or you stop fearing it because you don't have a choice. You have to pick your struggle.
Adaptability is a very important virtue, I think. I feel like I'm a very adaptable person. That's why I feel like I can be happy anywhere.
Right. Look at him. First video. Yeah. Look how he's doing. Round of applause. Stand up. Stand up out of your seats. God bless. Now for the next topic. Comfort zones limit growth. Change, you need to get used to. Change is painful, but change and pain that comes with it is necessary for growth.
Change is the only constant. Once you get used to it, your life becomes so much easier.
Right. And something I think about all the time, it's if you are constantly growing, if you're constantly becoming a better version of yourself, then you know what that means? That means that you right now are the best version of yourself. So that means as long as you're actively trying to be a better version of yourself, you're literally the best. You're the best. So chill. Don't be so hard on yourself. There's no reason because you're doing the best that you can. And if you think that you're not, the fact that you're even worrying about that means that you're trying, you know? Just because I could physically imagine myself doing a backflip, if I just get up and try to do a backflip, I'm gonna die. But that doesn't mean I should give up hope because it's a process and you gotta trust the process.
A saying I like is trust the process, enjoy the journey, and I can't remember. I said real quick. Live in the moment, enjoy the journey, trust the process. And once you realize that, you become more thankful of the situations you're in, and it'll help you find more joy in what you're doing.
The past isn't real. The future isn't real. They're only concepts concepts created by a human to explain the concept of time, which is also a man-made construct. There's only the present at all times, and there has only ever been the present at all times. Anything that you say that you want to be, you just snap your fingers, and as long as you act on it right now, that's exactly what you are. If I was a bus driver for my job and I went home and I wasn't driving a bus, I'm still a bus driver, right? Because my intention is to go to work tomorrow and be a bus driver. So as long as you tell yourself this is the new me, I'm gonna have no more sloth, no more envy, no more lust, no more wrath, no more pride. It doesn't matter if you were a bully your whole life. It doesn't matter if you were a stripper your whole life. If today you said that right now I'm done and that's not me, my intentions change, my heart's changed, I'm not gonna act on it anymore, that's who you are. And it doesn't matter what anybody can say. The past isn't real. It doesn't matter what they can say about you because that's not you, and you shouldn't value it because you know better. And you know who knows better as well? And you know who knows better all the time? Who will always know, can't hide from anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Gotta cool off. Cook too hot. Oh. People, y'all, I'm sorry. You need to pause and just take a deep breath and just be like, wow, I can think, I can see, I can smell, I can hear, I have air in my lungs, maybe you can't do some of those, and that's fine. But you're alive and you're conscious, and that's as real as it gets. And if any problem you have is going on through your mind at any point, all you have to do is literally stop and think, why is this even a problem? Is it because I made it a problem? Is it because I give value to this and I create a problem in my head? Could I simply just say, I actually don't care about it anymore and be over it? Or you can sit there, you can dwell on it and you overthink and you focus all of your attention on it and be miserable. And what a lot of people don't realize is that happiness is completely a choice. Your emotions are a choice. Your emotions are also connected to your reactions. So as long as you can control your reactions, you have enough self-will to control your emotions as well, because controlling your emotions controls how much you care about something, and that depends on what value you put in it. If I put all this value into the way that my hair looks and someone came and snipped it all off, like he said in his example, his heart would be depleted. He would feel like his identity went away, and that completely determines his quality of life and his happiness and his confidence. Versus if I took the value away, you could really love your hair, but if someone cuts it, you still need to have the self-awareness and just like the consciousness to be like, okay, it's hair. I could really be upset and start flipping out. Yes, is it unfortunate they just cut my hair off? Yeah, that sucks. But whether or not I start screaming, crying versus whether I just do what I need to do to get out of the situation or whatever, it's not going to change what just happened. The only thing that you're changing is your quality of life. So if someone just cut off my hair and I throw a tantrum, I'm going to be a person throwing a tantrum and I'm going to be emotional. I'm going to be in distress. I'm going to be upset. I'm going to probably embarrass myself. Versus if I was just like, okay, well, that just happened and that sucked. And I walked off and chose to be completely content with being alive. That's just you. It's just 100% you.
Agreed. Don't worry, you're in control. And if you're not in control, don't worry, it's someone else's problem.
Period. If you can't control something, don't worry about it. And if you can control it, don't worry about it because you're in control of it.
Control the controllables.
Affirmation break. I trust the timing of my life. What is meant for me will find me, even if I must let go first. Amen.
Amen.
Moreover, with controlling yourself goes on to the next topic, which is that you cannot control others. So coinciding with the previous topic of being able to control yourself and control your emotions, your reactions, whatever. Hold on, this girl wants to be in so bad. All right, as much as you can control yourself, you have to recognize that other people have that same responsibility over themselves. And they might not be mature enough or self-aware enough or conscious enough to do that. And that's okay. You can try to guide them, but never let it be your responsibility, even if they're your parent or your partner or your sibling, or if it's your child, yes. But other than that, no. And if God's timing is meant for it, then it will happen. And if it's not, it's not. And that's all right, because we all live and die on this earth regardless. So they will still be here or they will not, and they'll be somewhere else where you will meet them. But yeah, you can't control other people. It's their responsibility. You can hold them accountable. You can try to guide them, of course, but with that, don't take things to heart. If someone walked in my house and was like, you are a dumb, idiotic, stupid, fat, whatever, like, it's kind of just like, why? Ooh. Okay, bye guest. Kitty. Someone could say whatever the heck they want to say about me or to me or do whatever, as long as I'm protected physically. Mentally, it's really up to yourself. You can only do so much to protect your flesh, but what's inside has to be unmendable, unbreakable.
Yeah, happiness comes from within. You can't hold yourself accountable for other people's actions. You can only hold them accountable, because at the end of the day, like Chloe said, they're their own people, and people do what they do. People are strange, man. People will do things that you just don't get sometimes, and that's okay. You just have to accept them for who they are and control the controllables. Yeah. Wish them the best.
Control the controllables, for real. The last thing I'm going to talk about, I probably should have mentioned this in the beginning. I think I've already mentioned this in another video, but it's understanding what a certain level of consciousness or God consciousness or spiritual consciousness actually is. And I feel like I try to have a lot of these conversations with people, and they're like, yeah, I'm really like spiritual or whatever, and then it's kind of still like surface level at the end of the day. And I'm not saying this in like a cocky way, but just like literally it comes to like dimensions or what we're even interpreting of the world. Everyone's entitled to their own interpretation, of course, but it comes with understanding that you can in fact control exactly how you feel. I used to be so emotional in the sense that someone would cheat on me, and even though that's a horrible thing to do, my reaction would be like screaming, crying my heart out and feeling betrayed and feeling self-worthlessness and etc. And even though there was a reason for the way that I felt and the way that I reacted, it was never an excuse, or it was never justifiable. But the thing is I didn't even do it to be a certain type of way. It was just my emotions were so strong that that's the only thing that I could physically do. Like I didn't have anything that I could hold back. It took me a lot of time by myself and working on that and thinking about it and understanding what triggered it and where it came from and etc. And also what it even meant to react and what it meant to feel something, or why would I even let something like that affect me that way. It all comes down to the value that you place into a concept or into something materialistic. Yeah, to be at a higher level of consciousness is to realize, okay, not only are my emotions completely in my control, but my entire perception of reality is. Because when you think of your spirit as an essence and you're detached from your flesh completely, and I'm like, okay, I'm just this identity in this life, but in another life, none of this is like this, possibly. And we might never connect with any other soul again. I don't know. I don't even know.
Perception received is reality achieved.
Right. I think, therefore I am.
I think, therefore I am. I like that.
Credits to Billie Eilish, and credits to the guy that actually said it like 2,000 years ago or something. A lot of the times, and this has been a recent revelation for me, honestly. I found God like a year and 4 months ago, but this level of consciousness I've only achieved in like the past 6 months, and it's been extremely freeing in that I'm completely unbothered and unfazed by everything or anything. And that might sound, oh, I would never want to be like that, emotionless. It's not that I'm emotionless, it's that I can choose when to be emotional. And it's almost like you're playing part in the simulation, the same way that a relationship is just a concept made by people. Money is a concept made by people. And when you kind of realize everything is just a concept and all of us are just playing a role in this world, nothing really matters. And there'll be times where I was like with an ex having a conversation and he'd be like, I'm sorry, I can't, da 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 da, or like he's just apologizing for something he did. I'd just be like, you know what, it's okay, because you're literally just a person and you weren't born or put onto this earth by God to be my boyfriend or to be a partner in a relationship. This is just a luxury. Don't stress. Don't be upset about it. Don't be hard on yourself, because like we're literally just two spirits, and like I could choose to be boom in the simulation. Yeah, you should be doing this, this, and this because you're my boyfriend. Or I could just step back and be like, it's actually okay because I'm just playing a role as a girlfriend. I'm just holding you to an expectation that you chose to be in because you agreed to this, whatever. But at the end of the day, we weren't born for this. Like this isn't what we are. It's just made up. Being able to choose when you're in the simulation versus when you're on a higher level and you're kind of just like looking at everyone and accepting their roles, you don't get upset at anything. I don't have any resentment for anyone anymore. There can be the nastiest energy person running into my workplace and having the worst attitude or something, and it's just like, oh, they're so deep in the simulation. That's just the first thing that I think. You're so caught up in the simulation of life that you're this emotional, that you're projecting this onto me. And like, I don't even judge them or condemn them. It's just, what do I need to say to you right now to help you, to make you feel more heard? And usually what I do is I just like look them in. People don't look each other in the eyes anymore, like especially in America. But I usually just, every person that I interact with, whether they hold the door open for me or they're my cashier or my server, someone's parent or whatever, I just try to look them in the eye and pretend like it's only us talking to each other, and everyone gives me the same reaction where they look like I just tapped them out of the simulation. Like it happens all the time. So many times when I meet new people, they're like, man, you're really like wise for your age or something. Or it's like, I've never had someone ask me this question, or I've never had someone make me feel this comfortable 10 minutes into a conversation. You know, stuff like that. Anyone could do it. You just have to be confident enough in your own consciousness to know that you can pull other people in it, you know? Yeah,
life is like a game. You either choose to play it or you don't. You don't have to subscribe to certain ways of thinking, no matter if that's the norm. Because at the end of the day, like we've been stating throughout the video, you just gotta control the controllables. What's in your realm of control is in your control. So therefore, you don't have to stress about it. Just make the adjustments that you want to change. See what it is exactly that's bothering you about your circumstances, and then do the best you can to overcome those. If it's your circumstance, but you can't exactly control it, sometimes you just have to take a step back, take a deep breath, and then just keep doing what you can, because that's all we can do.
Period. Now a question for our guest star as we conclude. So Christian, could you tell us, maybe there was a time you had to deal with something that was unfair, and how did you deal with it, and how did it affect you?
Yeah, I remember when I was younger, I was talking to this one girl. I was probably like a sophomore in high school at the time, and it was really intentional. Yeah, I was at Stan, but she didn't go to Stan.
Oh, she went to another school.
Yeah, but I was really intentional about this relationship at the time. I was in heavy pursuit. I was really feeling her. I met her parents, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? I really want to make this girl my girlfriend. I'm interested. And we had been talking for so long. She introduced me to her parents and everything. We were going on dates. I was taking her out. I told my mom about her. And when I built up the confidence to ask her to be my girlfriend, she was like, I don't really think I'm ready yet. And it
after showing you to her parents?
Yeah, all of that.
Hey, girl, that's cold. If you're watching this, no, it's okay. It's okay. You were a kid. You probably know better now.
But I was shocked. I was like, dang, I did all this. We were getting to that point. And then later I realized there was a whole nother dude who she was talking to.
Oh.
And we actually went on a date one time and ran into him at this spot. And they were talking. I didn't think anything of it at the time because I didn't know him. And they were friends. And I find out later from my friends who went to the school she went to, they were telling me that there was more to it between them. And I just felt really used. And I didn't even bring it up to her. I just was like, I'm not interested in talking anymore or doing this. Best of luck. And then I haven't made contact since. But
okay, no contact.
I felt so vulnerable and treated unfairly. And there was a lot of other things going on in my life that were really affecting me. The timing of it all was a lot. There was a lot of pressure. I look back on everything that was going on at the time, and I realized there was a lot of things that were in my control that I was kind of letting slip out of my hand. Like my fitness, for example. I was like 106 pounds at the time because I wasn't really too heavy into eating or lifting.
I could have curled you.
Yeah. That's when I got into the gym, and I feel like getting into personal fitness was a way where I felt I had control back in my life after being treated unfairly. And now I'm trying to get like Chloe Abadi here.
Day one starts with a mind, starts with a mindset. The mental comes second. You master the discipline. The rest comes naturally.
Oh man, yeah. What about you? What's the time you felt you were treated unfairly, and how did you react to that?
Well, he knows because he's probably watching, and this is how I handle it because he's watching. I'm just kidding. How was I treated unfairly? Oh, I don't know. Go look at my TikTok, and if you want to know how I handled it, you're watching it right now. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you made it this far, if you did, I'm sorry, but I'm not, because I know you learned a lot. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe and comment any recommendations or anything. Thank you, Christian, for joining today's episode. Appreciate that. All right, bye.